Storage in JavaScript is a great and really easy way to manage data. In fact, I think it's even easier than cookies. It's a little bit more limited in terms of scope, but you can use it for almost all of the same things, as well as actually saving a fairly substantial amount of data to the user's browser in case they come back to the site. So it's used for storing things like settings or small amounts of information, but it's not a super limited storage option in terms of size. So let's take a look at some of the limitations of local storage. First of all, it's about 5 megabytes per origin or per domain. It cannot be shared across subdomains, so that is a limitation. But 5 megabytes is much larger than the limitations of a cookie, so you can actually store some real data there. It's a synchronous API, and all that means is that when you're waiting for that data to load into the website, the rest of your JavaScript application is waiting for that. And so that's just something to be aware of. Usually it's not a very long period of time, but that is a thing that you need to take into consideration when you're developing local storage applications. Another limitation is that data can only be strings. So if you have a number or an object or an array, you need to convert those to strings. The easiest way to do that is to use the JSON stringify command. The data is not stored in any kind of encrypted way, so that means that it is vulnerable to certain kinds of attacks. So you just need to be aware of that. So that means, no social security numbers, no passwords, no usernames, that kind of thing. You're really not wanting to store that kind of thing in local storage anyway. The other limitation, or another limitation, maybe it's an enhancement, is that there is no expiration of local storage. So once you create it, it's going to stay there until you delete it later. So there are also some privacy restrictions to local storage, meaning that sometimes if your user is maybe using an incognito browser or an anonymous browser, that local storage simply won't work because it does require a user to be present in the browser, and it also requires that local storage be turned on. That's something that users can turn off at the browser level, and so that could prevent your application from working altogether. So just something to be aware of. And finally, this is only a slight limitation because there's ways around this, but there is no event handling. In other words, I can't detect when local storage has been changed, but I can detect other things like the things that change local storage. So it's not a huge limitation, but it is something to be aware of.